Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today I thought we'd take a look at one of the lessons that's assigned for evening prayer, and that is from the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, not Ecclesiasticus, that book is in the Deuterocanonical books. Ecclesiastes is in a part of it's in the Old Testament. And we just got out of looking at Job. And remember, I talked about one of my favorite authors, Dr. Peter Kraft, has a book called The Three Philosophies of Life. And of course, Job is life is suffering. And we know that certainly there is suffering in the world. He would also write about the Song of Songs, which describes life as love. But the third philosophy of life that's in the scriptures that Dr. Kraft talks about is, in fact, the book of Ecclesiastes, and that is life is vanity. In other words, everything we do is vanity. Now, what's interesting is that of all the books in the Bible, Ecclesiastes doesn't really have prayer to God. It's a description of life and doesn't actually talk very much about God himself. It's a very interesting book. It is attributed in ancient days to Solomon. And with some of the descriptions of what's going on there would make you think that the writer is certainly one who's acquainted with being a great king. But everything he says, basically, that everything we can do ends up really just being vanity, that we run after these things and we're never satisfied. So yesterday we read chapter 1. Today we are reading chapter number 2. So let's get started. I said in mine heart, go to now, and I will prove thee with mirth, therefore enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also is vanity. And I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them, and all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water, to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of provinces. I gat me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do it. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. So, wow, that's kind of depressing, huh? But what he's doing here, of course, is he's setting up first things first. What's really important? He could do all of these things, right? Build great houses because he was the king. He had wisdom and he had riches. And so he could do all of these wonderful and amazing things that you and I think, wow, wouldn't that be great if we could do that? Imagine if I could have orchards. Imagine if I could have all those cattle. Imagine if I could have all this stuff. The house and the servants and everything all. And yet he realized that once he did all those things, it was still vanity. Right? Now, of course, we know the ultimate answer, that our hearts are restless, O God, until they rest in thee, as St. Augustine would have said. It's in chasing after things ended up not being the solution to a satisfied heart, as the author of Ecclesiastes finds out. And I know that we too know that such things are true. Maybe we don't know, but we certainly find it out as we go along. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We'll look more at Ecclesiastes in the coming days. Today is the 19th, so we've got two feast days today. We've got St. Friedewald. You'll have to hear about St. Friedewald at Mass, as well as St. Peter of Alcantara. And actually, he's one of my favorite saints. He's one of these Franciscans that I just adore. But anyway, so we do have Holy Communion